All good things must end, right? I know it. I just have to say that I can't even explain to you how blessed that I feel that I've been able to do this course with you guys. I literally started this thinking like, oh, I should probably just put all this information together for somebody so that, when my clients need it or when I'm trying to explain it, I don't have to explain it 100 times. And I really only imagined having, 20 people in it. And here we are, day 5. We've got almost 200 people in this course. And you guys have been sharing it, and my messenger, my email, and my cell phone has been going crazy. Every morning I wake up and I have like 25, 30 different messages. It's literally like I can't even explain to you how full my heart is doing this course for you guys. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that you all participated in it. I'm so thankful that you shared it. I love that you heard the information. You really heard the information, and you thought of people that could benefit from it, and you shared it with them, and you invited them to the group. You guys, you're all healers in your own way, and I'm so proud of all of you. And I am seriously, like at the end of the session, when I say I love you guys, I really love you guys. I want all of you guys to heal, and I'm so thankful that you participated in this group with me. So today is day 5. Like I said, all good things must end. I've had so much fun. Today we're going to talk about hope for healing. We're going to be talking about some supplements. I've got some, these aren't all of them, but I've got some of my vitamins over here. And we'll talk about some foods that you guys can start incorporating, especially for Epstein-Barr virus and Streptococcus. Those were kind of the two that this was really based around today or this week. So let's just dive right in. We know that a lot of us already suffer. I don't know why I'm so sad. I'm sad that this is over, but I'll continue. Tonight we're gonna hold the raffle. I'm gonna do it at 5:30, 5:45ish because I wanted my son to be around. He likes to pull names out of a hat. So I got my hat. I gotta go get my son, and we're gonna do it tonight. And we're gonna call the names, and we will be able to announce the winner. I'm so excited for that. So let's talk real fast about foods that we want to avoid, foods that we want to not consume because they're going to feed the virus, feed the bacteria. So the first video that I did was all about stress. And when we talk about stress, we talk about the fight or flight response, or the sympathetic nervous system. So you're going to want, if you are a high anxious person, you have anxiety attacks, you are constantly, feeling like you're late, you're rushing around, you have memory loss, brain fog, confusion, all of that. One of the best things that you can avoid, and don't hate me, I'm going to be totally honest with you, but one of the things that you're going to want to start cutting down on or cutting out completely is caffeine. So I know it sucks. I've been there. I've done that. I actually just gave up decaf organic coffee. I don't do teas anymore that are caffeinated. I only do herbal uncaffeinated teas now because caffeine is a stimulant. We want to avoid things that are going to increase that fight or flight response inside our body. So if we're drinking a lot of caffeine and we're rushing around, we're going crazy, our adrenaline is spiking, that's going to tax your adrenals even more, and it's going to put you right back into that sympathetic nervous system response. Sugar and alcohol tend to do the same thing. They're taxing on your liver. They deplete your body from magnesium. It's also a stimulant, so avoiding high amounts of processed sugars. And as far as, I wrote on my notes cocaine. Like, I was just writing down all these stimulants, and I'm like, definitely don't want to be like snorting a line of cocaine if you're already anxious. So definitely avoid caffeine, alcohol, sugar, and cocaine. I don't know why I put that. I also shared that, you guys are going to think I'm like weird or something, but I shared that Scarface video, or that meme, because I was looking through magnesium memes, and there was this one of Al Pacino, or is that right? Yeah, that's Al Pacino. But, he's got his face covered in powder, and like, that's how I felt this last week. I was literally downing magnesium to try to go to the bathroom, because it's a long story. But anyway, I felt like that. And so I saw that meme and I just thought it was hilarious. So avoid stimulants, please. Avoid stimulants if you're already anxious. For foods, we talked a little bit about each of these, but grains, gluten, those are just foods that our body doesn't need. It stimulates inflammation inside our body. It's really hard for our bodies to break it down. It spikes our blood sugar. There's, I don't know if you guys have ever read Wheat Belly, but there are studies that show that a slice of whole grain bread actually spikes your insulin more than a Snickers bar does. It's really hard for us to break down. and it really doesn't provide us with any nutrients that we need that we can't get from fruits or vegetables. So we really don't need gluten or grains. It's kind of just like a filler food, and most of us are becoming intolerant to it anyway because most of the grains now are genetically modified. If you don't know what genetically modified foods are, basically when you consume a genetically modified food, your body doesn't recognize it as a food, and so it can't process it and it can't break it down. So it's basically like eating plastic. Your body has no freaking clue what to do with it. So along with the GMOs, corn and soy are two of the most genetically modified foods that are out there right now. Also canola oil. Canola oil is high in like snacks or foods. Also restaurants usually cook with canola oil. The same thing, it's genetically modified. Our body can't recognize it. It's not going to break it down properly. Dairy is mucus producing. It also, if you have strep or if you have chronic sinusitis or if you have allergies, you're constantly blowing your nose, dairy is going to increase mucus production, whether it's in your lungs, whether it's in your sinuses. So avoiding dairy. Also, it's really high in fat, so it's hard on your liver, which already is sluggish in most of us. We really need to work on our livers. We really need to take care of our liver. And then we talked about eggs too. So eggs actually feed the strep bacteria, and they feed the Epstein-Barr virus. When they make antibiotics, they grow the virus or they grow the bacteria in an egg. And if you were to look at a microscope, and you could look at the Epstein-Barr virus or you could look at the strep bacteria, and you put an egg in the Petri dish under the microscope, you could just see the bacteria just going crazy and eating up the egg. So anything that you're eating that has eggs in it, whether it's like any sort of like processed foods or cakes or pancake mixes or anything like that, if it has eggs in it, it's just as bad as eating whole eggs completely. I went over corn, soy. So, and then as far as the things that you want to try to avoid with and it's a little bit harder to avoid because we're not eating them, but heavy metals I talked about the other day too. So heavy metals are they're in our water, they're in our deodorant. Deodorant has aluminum in it. They're in metal fillings. If you guys still have metal fillings in your mouth, you have mercury. They're in some vaccinations. Like I said before, thimerosal used to use mercury. They changed it so that, the whole heavy metal thing and autism, but they actually use aluminum now, and aluminum's just as bad. So aluminum foil, if you're using pots and pans that have aluminum, it's in the air, the chemtrails, the planes that fly overhead that release the gases, those have heavy metals in them. I think I said it's in your water. Canned goods, and cigarette smoke, you guys. I'm going to say this probably a couple times, but if you smoke, you've got to fucking quit. Like, you can't have these symptoms and you can't feel like shit and not understand why. If you're smoking cigarettes, you're killing yourself, literally. You're putting toxins inside your body that your body is trying really, really hard to get rid of, and it can't. And there's lead and there's pesticides and there's a whole bunch of shit in cigarettes that you're smoking. If you're around somebody that smokes, if they smoke in the car with you, if your parents smoked while you were growing up, if they smoked while they were pregnant with you, chances are you have heavy metal toxicity. So if you smoke, just fucking quit. Like, just stop messing around and figure it out, find a way and just quit. Radiation is actually in cigarette smoke as well, just from some of the things that they use for the tobacco smoke. Also, the cigarette smoke puts off, when you inhale it, you're breathing in radiation. Cigarettes are actually the highest amount of radiation as far as like how they measure it. TVs put off about like 10, they measure it in like 10 units. And then if you think about like MRIs, X-rays, and CT scans actually put off about 1,000 units of radiation. So if you are traveling a lot, you're going through the X-ray machines. I never do X-rays at the airport because it's just not necessary. I'll like have the lady pat me down and like feel me up or whatever, and that's all good as long as I don't have to go through the X-rays. Just the smaller amount of radiation that you can be around, the better off you're going to be. All of these factors are going to contribute to your health. So, having the fillings removed, checking your pipes in your house, making sure that they're not, releasing copper into the oil or the water that you're using to shower with, or the water that you're using to cook with. Making sure that you limit, if you live with somebody that smokes, making sure that they don't smoke near you. All of these factors, the more you start to work on these, the better you'll get. It's a slow process, you guys. It's not going to get better in a day. It's not going to get better in 12 weeks. I mean, getting rid of the virus and the bacteria that we have could take a year or 2 years sometimes. But what's 2 years when you've been suffering for 20? You know what I mean? It's worth it to me. So we talked about heavy metals, we talked about radiation. So what are some of the foods and supplements that you can start taking to help? Let's talk about, let me see what this question is right here. How did you end up here? Real quick, I stumbled across Anthony Williams stuff and I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, I have all these symptoms. And then I pulled up biofeedback, and biofeedback showed that I had the Epstein-Barr virus, and I knew I had mono, and I started, it was like in a movie where they're like flipping through scenes of like all these discoveries like all at once, like oh my gosh, this happened and then this, and it literally was like mind-blowing to me. It was a super head trip because everything that I had thought I knew beforehand, like it just totally turned. And everything that I knew about healing and what I thought I knew about healing just shifted. And I was buying supplements and I was, you know, getting things to manage this symptom or to manage that symptom, but I wasn't getting to the problem, which is why I was never getting better. And that's why nobody gets better, because we're constantly just treating the symptom, and that's not enough for me anymore. So that's a short version of how I got here. So I want to go over some of the foods, or I'm sorry, some of the supplements that I have. I have this wonderful little goodie bag area over here. So one of the first things that Anthony Williams, well, not the first, but one of the things that he talks about is something called silver hydrosol. So most of you guys have heard of it as colloidal silver. We actually make our own, and we have to drink the bottle of Sky vodka in order to get these big blue bottles. So I'm not a big drinker, but my parents like to take care of that for us. So the colloidal silver, the best versions are Sovereign Silver or Silver Hydrosol. We actually, like I said, we actually make our own, so we make it by the gallon. But if you buy it, like if you were to buy a bottle this big, what is this, 32 ounces, you'd probably spend like $150. So there are ways that you can make your own. You buy the silver rods and you diffuse it into the distilled water. So you could look into that, but you can also buy bottles. These are, you only take about 2 teaspoons, a tablespoon a day. You don't need a lot of it. And so basically when you use colloidal silver, you really can use it anywhere. I'm going to get super, super personal with you guys. Ear infections, drop it right in the ear. Eye infections, pink eye, drop it right in the eye. Styes, drop it right in the eye. Sore throat, gurgle with it. Gum disease, wash it out, spit it. You can put it topical. It's great for a diaper rash, but it kills over hundreds different forms of viruses and bacteria. Like I said in the other video, they used to actually use silver dollars and put them in milk so that it would kill all the bacteria, so the milk wouldn't go bad in the pioneer days. But it's amazing. And if you have any like urinary tract infections or yeast infections, I actually, only about 2 years ago, I had my first UTI and I had no idea what it was until I actually talked to my mother-in-law. And when she told me what it was, the first thing that I thought of was the colloidal silver. So I know it sounds weird, but you can actually douche with it. You can use it right on the area if it's infected. You can use it for open wounds. You can use it for any type of like foot infection, any types of rashes. If it's bacterial or viral, the properties of the colloidal silver will totally help. I mean, faster. I mean, I've used it on diaper rashes. We have a spray, and in 4 hours, the diaper rash is completely gone. I've soaked it on the diaper and closed the diaper on the baby, and it's gone completely. It's used now in Band-Aids. They put in silver in Band-Aids, like you name it. It's literally used for everything. So it's an amazing go-to. I always have it on hand, and this is also what I use when I have an upper respiratory infection, or when I start to feel, if I get a cold and I start to feel it go into my lungs. I put this in a nebulizer, and I actually do a breathing treatment with it twice a day for 2 days, and it kills whatever bacteria is in my lungs. So that's colloidal silver. This actually is a homemade concoction. I don't know if she's going to be mad at me or happy about it, me showing you, but this is something that Maureen makes for me. It's disgusting. It's so gross, but it's amazing. It helps to kill up. It's antiviral. These are a lot of the remedies that Anthony Williams says are helpful for the Epstein-Barr virus. And so I put a shot glass. I do a little bit of, I put a little bit of it in a shot glass at the bottom, and then I fill the rest with grape juice, and she says that that's what will help to numb the taste a little bit. So it's actually bearable. I can just, you know, shoot a little grape juice, and it has a little tang to it. Another thing that's really good for the Epstein-Barr virus is Hawaiian spirulina. Now, spirulina, because it's a plant, in most places it's actually grown with pesticides. So you want Hawaiian spirulina because Hawaiian spirulina is organic and it's not, there's no pesticides or anything used with it. And this you can buy this on the Facebook or the Amazon site that I shared with you guys, or most of the Sprouts or the vitamin stores will have Hawaiian spirulina. And I actually keep it in my refrigerator. Another one that is really good for virus is Ester C. Now, Ester C is a higher version of vitamin C, basically. I eat this stuff like candy. Like, I just am constantly, like, if I'm fighting strep bacteria, I think I'm through Epstein-Barr now. But I also keep them in chewables because I give them to my kids. I give my baby 2 a day and I give my son 2 or 3 a day. They're chewables. They have an orange flavor, and these are just kind of like go-tos. I like to keep them. My son takes a little handful of I call them chewies every morning. Another one that's really good for kids to help with bacteria and virus is elderberry syrup. I just do like a dropper full of this. It's 5 mils. It's a teaspoon, or yeah, I think it's a teaspoon. And he loves it, and he drinks it up, and it's a great immune booster. It's great for kids' health. And all the stuff that, you know, is for kids is really helpful because they actually will take it. They like it. You know, I call them the chewies. Another one that this is one of the zincs that I've taken, but I actually made a homeopathic remedy out of it, so it says zero stress. Yeah, Megan, you can add spirulina to the list. Hawaiian spirulina helps to flush out. It binds to heavy metals and it helps to pull out heavy metals. So anything that helps to take out heavy metals is going to be beneficial if you're fighting Epstein-Barr. So zinc, my other zinc bottle is actually in my diaper bag. Also Golden Seal and Echinacea, that's on the Amazon site. Golden Seal is a great immune booster. It's also awesome for kids because it doesn't taste that bad, so kids will take it, but it's great if they start to come down with something, they get a runny nose. I know with kids in daycare, they're always sick. Fortunately, my baby's only been sick like once, and my 8-year-old never gets sick. We talked the other day about B12 and B6. My B12 is actually in my car, and I was too lazy to go get it. This is a bottle of the one that I used to take. This is a methylcobalamin. If you're gonna buy, this is from Jarrow Formulas. This is the second best that I found. This is only methylcobalamin. The one that I have on my Amazon site is actually adenosine, which is the most active form or the most available form of B12. So the droppers, those are the ones that I said it's like crack. Like literally, I take it and I feel so much better immediately. It's like my go-to for energy. And then P5P is the active form of B6 that Anthony recommends. Now, I just grabbed this at my health food store, but there are better forms of it, which I have online. I just haven't ordered it yet. I haven't put an order in. I'm almost out of most of them, though. And then the other day, I talked about the Mega Immune Oil. This is my go-to when I feel like I'm sick or getting sick. You can put it on your feet a couple times a day, like every 30 minutes, or I ingest it. So I use the capsules. I use capsules with, and again, these are organic. I don't ingest non-organic oils, so unfortunately, some of the multi-level marketing companies, they claim that they're better than organic, but they don't have the USDA certified organic seal, which means they don't go through any of their testing. So to me, it's important if you're going to ingest, especially with the amount of pesticides that they use on crops, that the oils are USDA certified organic. So, and then these are the capsules I buy at Sprouts, and I do 3 or 4. Well, I do 4 drops of this. You would start with 1 or 2, and I do the rest. I fill up the rest of the capsule with olive oil. And you can only do this for 10 days because the oregano oil, the thyme, the cinnamon bark, all that, the oils are so strong, it's like an antibiotic, so you don't do it longer than 10 days. If you guys are anxious people by nature, where's my other one? Oh, I have little stress, I call them stress chewies. But this is another one that, this is like kind of just to keep on hand. This would be like Xanax or I don't know, like whatever the other ones are called. But it's called PharmaGABA, and GABA is an amino acid that our body naturally produces anyway. So PharmaGABA is just a more pure form of GABA, and they're just chewable tablets. They're kind of big, but they taste good. But they help to calm you down. So if and when I had anxiety, sometimes when I go to the cabin, I get a little anxious because we're in the middle of nowhere. It's like 40 miles to it's like 25 miles to the nearest town, and I have the babies, and so sometimes I get a little worked up thinking like, what if something happens? And So I keep this with me when I go up to the cabin because if I do get anxious, this is something that I can take. This is called PharmaGABA. It's also on the website. These are great for if you're, stressed out, if you're anxious, if you are having a hard time calming down. If you're a mom and you're just tired of feeling anxious, you could try these. When I do biofeedback and I do calming sessions, GABA, tryptophan, and phenylalanine are some of the ones that some of the amino acids that I provide frequencies with. So I'm getting another Facebook message about the course. So that's just really good to have on hand if you're anxious. Do you guys have any questions so far? I know I'm kind of going like super fast. What does that say? Yeah, and if your kids get sick a lot, keeping them on a regular dose of elderberry syrup, vitamin C, zinc, you could even put them on a B, and the golden seal. That is like the best way to keep your kids from getting sick. I like upped my supplement game with my son. It seemed like every time he was at this babysitter's house, he was coming home with a runny nose and boogers and chest congestion. And I just really started every morning, every night, zinc, golden seal, elderberry syrup, and the vitamin C chewies. So I had to make sure that, because you don't want them to suffer, when they're sick, we have to stay home and then we miss out. All of this okay to take while nursing. Asia, they should all be okay to take while nursing. I'm going to check with Maureen because I'm definitely not qualified to say yes or no. So I'll check with her and just make sure. But these are the GABA is something that your body naturally produces anyway. Any recommendations for adrenal fatigue? So adrenal fatigue, on the website, I actually have the HPA. I don't have adrenal fatigue anymore, so I don't need it. But on the website, there's a natural adrenal support. It's called the HPA axis. So in a couple of videos, I mentioned the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenal glands are responsible for your stress response. So the signal, releasing ACTH and CRH and all the stress hormones. And so when your body is taxed and your adrenals are taxed because you're in this fight or flight state or you're always stressed out, your HPA axis becomes depleted. So the HPA axis supplement on there has the natural vitamins and minerals to nourish your hypothalamus, your pituitary, and your adrenals. I used to be on a glandular, which is actually like a bovine complex. It's called NutraWest DSF, and that's basically like ground up pituitary, ground up adrenal glands from animals. But Anthony Williams advised that glandulars aren't always the most effective, so now I've switched to a more natural form. Let's see, fight or flight, yeah. So the PharmaGABA would be great for somebody that's in fight or flight. I'm trying to think what else I used when I was in adrenal fatigue. Building up the adrenals is really helpful. Lemon balm tea is really helpful. Gosh, it's been so long since I'll look into that and I'll get back on the adrenals. But the HPA axis supplement is amazing for. Oh, and also I didn't go over this one yet, but also the NRF1 that LifeVantage makes has CoQ10 and L-lysine in it, and that's really helpful for the adrenals too. So and then the other thing too, and this is something that I've been on for 3 years, and I'll tell you a funny story about this. This is a supplement called Protandim. Now, some of you guys might know about it because your friend sells it or whatever. It's a network marketing company, and this is what they started with. This is all they had when they started, and this is all that I take of theirs. But I'll tell you, I've been on this for 3 years. I went on it for heart palpitations because my chiropractor suggested it. I said, fine, you too, I keep hearing about it, I'll just fucking try it. So I tried it. My heart palpitations went away 3 weeks later, so then I signed up as a distributor. I don't really work the business aspect of it. I'll mention it to people because I think that it'll help them help more people. But I came off of this 5 weeks ago, you guys, and fucking shit just hit the fan. It literally, my digestion messed, and I've been really, really stressed out lately. So I noticed that this helps reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days, and oxidative stress is what's basically deteriorating our cells. So I feel like this helped to speed up the process of healing because I was taking it regularly, and when I stopped taking it and my stress response kicked in, I feel like that's why I kind of felt like I got hit by a truck all of a sudden. So I went back on it a couple of days ago. I started taking 2 a day, and I feel well, you guys have seen me. I've been back on it since Monday when I started this course, but I feel freaking amazing since I've been back on it. And then all the other supplements that I do. So I think that, you know, because that reduces stress on a cellular level, it allows your body to heal better. And I could be totally wrong, but there's over 22 studies published on PubMed on that supplement alone. It outperformed the multiple sclerosis drug. Like, it has like, it's showing that it gets, well, I can't say cure, but it diminishes the appearance of skin cancer in like 6 weeks. So I'll leave that there. What else did I miss? Silver hydrosol, zinc. Zinc sulfate as a liquid is the best form of zinc, if you guys can get that. Lemon balm, you can use that. You can get lemon balm tea. You can, I think that's part of, no, it's not in this remedy. Monolaurin, we went over the ester C, the Hawaiian spirulina. You could do nettle tea, nettle leaf tea, fennel juice. For foods that are helpful with the Epstein-Barr virus and all of these. Let me see what this spider. I'm in fight or flight. So foods that are helpful for getting rid of Epstein-Barr virus and strep are things that are going to be helpful with pulling out heavy metals, because we know heavy metal toxicity contributes to all of these ailments that we're dealing with. Epstein-Barr, we know it feeds Epstein-Barr, we know it feeds strep. So all of these foods, so some of the most powerful foods for getting rid of heavy metals are wild blueberries from Maine. Now, I love that, you know, he says they're from Maine, and I was like, well, shit, I live in Arizona. Like, I used to live in New Hampshire, so I could get wild blueberries from Maine, but where the heck am I going to find them out here? So I was at Sprouts a while back, and they have wild blueberries from Maine. It's Wyman's Organic Wild Blueberries from Maine. So I buy that stuff up when it's on sale, and I throw it in my freezer, and I put it in my smoothie every morning. I sometimes have a fruit smoothie in the afternoon, but I load up on fruit and vegetables, and I do, you know, meat twice a day with my lunch or my dinner. Celery juice first thing in the morning is like every ailment, every disease. If you guys are, you know, if your HCl levels are low, if your liver is stagnant, if you have brain fog, if you have depression, you definitely want to incorporate celery juice first thing in the morning. It's one of the best things that you can do. If you don't have a juicer, you could still blend it. It's just more ideal if you juice it, and you want to do it every morning. You don't want to make a big batch of it and have it, you know, in your fridge. You could freeze it, you could put it in ice cubes and have those in the morning, but you want to make sure that it's as fresh as possible. And celery juice is really good because the mineral salts in it help to feed your brain, and also it helps to balance out your HCl levels. So if you have any digestive issues, or you know how they say the brain and the gut are related, if you have digestive issues, if you have that brain fog, raw celery juice, nothing mixed in, don't throw ginger into it, just nothing else except celery juice. Drink that first thing in the morning, and then wait about 30 to 40 minutes before you have anything else to eat. Sprouts are antiviral. They're going to help fight off the Epstein-Barr virus. Cilantro is really powerful. You could put that in your salads. I mix it with my salads and my smoothies. I do green juices and I do smoothies, and I always just I just grab it, and people are like, how much cilantro? I'm like, I don't know, like this much. I just rip it right off of the what does Eric say? Integrative Therapeutics, good liver detox. Yes, if you guys are in New Hampshire, definitely hit up Eric and Maureen. They're both in New Hampshire, and they can totally help you guys with all of this stuff if you want like hands-on work. Apricots is really good for fighting Epstein-Barr. Parsley, just like cilantro. Raspberries, fennel juice, ginger, cucumbers, cantaloupe. There's so many foods, you guys, I can't even tell you. And I'll say this too. As a personal trainer, I've been a personal trainer for 15 years, and there is so much fear around fruit and eating fruit and what it's going to do to my body and what it's going to do to my blood sugar levels. And there's so many studies out there, and I'm happy to share them with you guys, that fruit does not change body composition. It's not going to change your blood sugar. It's not going to change your cholesterol. It's not going to change your blood pressure. There is this, and I don't know if it came with, you know, the 90s and the aesthetics training or anything like that, but there's this fear around fruit that it's bad for us. And I don't know where the hell it came from. But for a while, you know, as a trainer, like we would say, oh, well, you can only have one piece of fruit a day. Like, you need to eat that shit all day long. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and then like maybe not so much at dinner. But the reality of it is that fruit has so many properties that we are avoiding because we're afraid that it's going to, you know, like make us look soft or make us look bloated or whatever. And the reality is, if it's doing that to you, it's probably because your liver's not processing food properly, and it's other things inside your body that's making you react that way. So with that said, you guys, load up on the fruit, the vegetables, all, kale, spinach is really good for pulling out metals and Epstein-Barr virus, raw spinach. And just so you guys know, heavy metals are in pesticides. So when you're trying to make the decision of whether or not to buy organic, like spend the extra 70 cents on organic sweet potatoes instead of regular sweet potatoes, if you guys are trying to clean up your diet and avoid heavy metals, if you're eating non-organic fruits and vegetables, you're still consuming pesticides and you're still consuming heavy metals. So you have to make that decision. And I hear a lot of objections, and I've been in, like personal training and sales my entire life. And it might sound cheesy to you guys, but if you're gonna bitch about organic food being more expensive than regular food, then quit drinking Starbucks and quit drinking energy drinks and quit going out to dinner and buying, fucking like cheesecakes that are this big, like $15 cheesecakes that are this big. Like, there's your whole week of groceries in organic foods. Like, suck it up, buy the organic, clean it off, and eat the way that you need to eat to get rid of this issue. We can't, and I'm sorry that I'm so passionate about this, but we can't continue to complain about the way we feel if we're not going to make the right choices. You just have to suffer with the consequences. So the reality of it is, get a good spray, get a good vegetable spray, come home, clean up your, throw it all in there with some vinegar or spray them down, clean up your fruits and vegetables, wash them, dry them off, cut them up, prepare them, keep them in your fridge so they're readily available for you, they're readily available for your kids. I feel like I just went off on a tangent. I did. I'm sorry. I did. No, I'm not sorry, because I meant every word of it. But I love you guys. So with that said, I want to gently encourage you guys to, I say gently. I know you're watching. I want to gently encourage you guys to think about, here's the first step, to think about your food choices and to think about the mindset that you have around your food choices. And why do I eat this way? And what am I hoping to gain out of this food? Now, I just literally, maybe an hour ago, I just had a session with a client. We were talking about fruit, and she was talking about her stomach and look at how bloated I am and look at how big my stomach is. And you guys, the reality of it is, when we start this healing journey, it gets worse before it gets better, and it sucks, and I hate to say that, but I gotta be totally honest with you. I mean, I can't tell you the struggles that I've gone through. You get better, then you feel like you're worse. I mean, just before I started this class, I was in a healing crisis. I mean, I had literally started a new regimen of supplements. I cut some serious stuff out of my diet. I was also a little bit stressed, and I went through a crash. I crashed really hard. I was really just like depressed. But see, now it only lasts for a week, whereas before it would last for months. And that's how you know you're healing, and that's how you know you're in the healing crisis, because you're going to take one step forward and 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward and 1 step back as it starts to get better. It's like walking up a sand dune. It's hard and it sucks, but if you can change your mindset and you can trust the process, I promise you guys it will get better. I promise you. And when it comes to food, and if you're a trainer, if you work with a trainer, if you're trying to lose weight, lose inches, all of these things, you have to respect your body, and you have to respect your body where it's at, because nothing can process properly, nothing can function properly if you're in like chronic breakdown, chronic survival mode. And if your body is just trying to heal, like, it doesn't matter what you look like at this point. You just have to honor where you're at, and you have to know that everything that you're doing for your body is genuinely and sincerely trying to heal it. And I know that that's really hard, and I'm going to talk about that in another video, but I just want you guys to know that sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. And trust in the process. I promise, trust in the process. So with that said, I really want you guys to know that I'm totally here for you, and I love you guys all, and I'm so glad that you participated. And like I said, my phone has been blowing up with messages and Facebook messages and emails and questions and ideas, and I literally had I had somebody say that they were sad that this class was ending, and I feel the same way, because I seriously, I have so much more to tell you guys. So it was actually suggested that I run another course, and I started thinking about it, and I decided that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open a group called Hope for Healing. So this group was actually called the 5-Day Crash Course on Healing from Mystery Illnesses, because I wanted to kind of just bombard you guys with all the information that I have so that you know exactly what I know so that you can start healing on your own. Now, this Hope for Healing group is going to be capped at 20 people. The Hope for Healing group is kind of like the group that I'm going to take through the process. Now, I have so many ideas, and this is kind of where it starts. And I kind of need like beta testers to test this out for me, because I really want to know, I want open feedback. I want to know how I can make it better. I want to track your progress. I want to know how you're feeling if you're going through a healing crisis. I really want you guys to be part of that testing group. And so what I was thinking about doing is, in this Hope for Healing, I really want to cap it out at 20 people so that I can make sure that I have enough time for everybody. But we're going to cover all things from, anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, all of the symptoms that we've talked about in this course, whether it's, and I'll probably pick like the top 5, which was the brain fog, the anxiety, the depression, confusion, just like that mental clarity, the loss of self that I've kind of like coined my own disease, because like we don't even feel like ourselves anymore. And this group is going to be 20 women or men. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be restricted to women, that really want to get better and that are tired of feeling this way. And so we're going to cover stress. We're going to go dive more into the stress response. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to handle your stress. We're going to have weekly assignments. We're going to have a lot of interaction with the group. I don't want it to be like me posting. Like, this was a lot of me posting. You guys commented a lot, but nobody really shared like how they were feeling. So I really want it to be like an open, and it's a closed private group. It's not going to be something that, if you said, oh, I haven't shit in 4 days, like your brother's not going to see it. It's going to be so super private. But it's also going to be a safe space for you to learn and to heal. And I need that. That's important for me, because I feel like you guys, you need that. So we're going to go over, obviously like the chronic fatigue, the depression, the anxiety, the brain fog, the stress, the role stress plays, foods, diets that will help with Epstein-Barr. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to have the nurse practitioner that's on hand to be able to answer any questions, and she'll also be available for any one-on-one sessions. If you guys want like more customized or more private sessions with her, she'll be available for that. And we're also going to go over emotions, emotional attachment to diseases, emotional attachment to pain. We're going to go over pain management. We'll talk about certain ways to manage back pain, plantar fasciitis, chronic, shoulder pain, neck pain, because that's my specialty, and that's what I've done for the last 10 years, is focus specifically on corrective exercise. So you'll learn some ways of managing your pain, as well as, because let's face it, guys, like if we're in pain, like nothing else functions. Like we can't think straight, we can't see straight, we can't feed our kids, we can't play, we can't find joy because we're in pain. So part of what started me on this journey was getting people out of pain. So, and how emotions attach to certain organs and diseases. I know Epstein-Barr virus is pretty crazy. There are some experiences that I've had with it, but until you heal the emotion, the Epstein-Barr virus can't break down any farther. So you can get to a certain point physically. Until you heal that emotion, you can't get farther. And I've got all the tools and all the people and all the tricks for that too. So it's amazing. It's literally eye-opening. So this group is literally, it's going to be Hope for Healing. If you guys want more information and you're interested in it, you can go ahead and put add me in the comments below, or you can message me and say add me. I am going to keep it private, so you're not going to be able to search it and find it, because I don't want this to be something that just everybody and anybody has access to. It is going to be a paid group though. And what I'm doing is, because so many people have messaged me about biofeedback and how do I get this testing done and where are you and how can I do this? Biofeedback is mostly done in Metaspace. It's all done in distance, and I can explain it to you guys. It's a quantum physics mathematical equation. It's the same if you've ever worked with a psychic. They don't touch you. They don't have a computer that hooks up to you. This connects with your energetic field, and it works off of my intention and it works off of your intention, and it is spot on. I promise you, it's spot on. So we can use the biofeedback to test you, to see if you have Epstein-Barr in your system, how much streptococcus you have in your system, if your livers are taxed, your liver is taxed, your kidneys are taxed, if you are dealing with like a flare-up of Epstein-Barr, if Epstein-Barr is hidden inside your spleen. We can look at all of this stuff. And so I feel like that's the most important part, is to try to find out how bad it is, if it's in there, if you even have it at all. Sometimes mono comes up on people when they had it. So it's really powerful. So what I'm going to do in this group is each person is actually going to get 3 biofeedback sessions. So these are 3 one-on-one hour sessions with me. We do a Zoom phone call, and you can conference with me so you can actually see the screen while I'm working on you. And when we do that, it's mind-blowing, because you see what comes up and you can see the emotions, and we don't necessarily think that, you know, like maybe we're sad, we think we're sad, but we don't necessarily label it as abandonment. And then all of a sudden abandonment comes up and you're like, holy shit, like that's exactly how I feel. So the biofeedback can really, you know, it can correlate your diseases to your emotions. It can correlate, you know, spine to emotions, organs to emotions, you name it. But it also can work on all the physical stuff. And that's crucial when it comes to healing, because we've got to get you out of that fight or flight state. We've got to get your body in a state of healing, which is the parasympathetic, calm, rest and digest, or feed and breathe state. So, so that's always the first part. And then you're going to have 6 weeks of content, which will be all about, like I said, you know, diet changes, supplementation, helping to, you know, keep you guys on track with keeping your parasympathetic nervous system active. And these are all aspects of healing. This is the very first stage. And this is why it's kind of like a beta test group, because I want to run a larger program. I want to run like a 4 or 5 month program where we can really dive into the healing. And this is going to get you started. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to give you the guidance that you need to make sure that you're on the right path to healing, and you'll start feeling better gradually over time. And it's amazing the way the biofeedback and changing your diet and cutting out certain foods it's amazing the way that it can make you feel. So here's the deal with this course. It is going to kick off in July. I haven't set a date quite yet, because I want to make sure that, you know, the people that are watching or that are in this, some people, like, it's day 5 and we're still adding people. So I want to make sure that everybody gets caught up. I'm thinking between like the 10th and the 17th of July. It will start. I'm going to cap it at 20 people. I may lessen that. I may cap it at 10 because of all the biofeedback sessions. It's kind of hard on me and my energy when I do too many biofeedback sessions. But for now, let's just say we're going to cap it at 20. If you guys really want to do it and you know you want to do it and you're ready to go, I'm gonna do an early bird bonus. So you're gonna get extra content, and you're also gonna get a free gift, which is I haven't decided which one I want to do yet, but it's either going to be an essential oil or a crystal necklace or a crystal bracelet. So I haven't decided which one I want to go with yet, but you're going to get a free gift. The first 5 people to sign up will get the early bird content, and you'll get a free consultation with me over the phone so that I can have some more personal information on you. And the full course, because it's a beta test group, is going to be $600 for the full 6 weeks. And I'm going to be able to break it up into 2 different payments. So you can pay it all at once. You can pay the $600, or you can break it up into 2 payments of $300. And that's going to cover all of the content that we're going over for the 6-week course. And it's also going to cover the 3 biofeedback sessions. So we only do those once a week. It takes about 2 to 3 days for your body to process the frequencies. So we don't want to do it more than that. We could do it like on a Monday and a Friday, but again, you want to make sure that you have enough time in between each session to fully process. And most of the time when we do biofeedback and distance, you'll get anywhere between 10 and 14 days of relief anyway. So if you want to spread those sessions out, you can. You can do biofeedback in the beginning of the course and at the end of the 6 weeks and see what changes. We can run a new reactivity test. So that is moving forward. And I just want to know, I want you guys to know that, like, you know, I didn't really have intentions of creating anything bigger than just this. I work, you know, I have coaching clients, I have online coaching clients, I have clients in Florida, Massachusetts, California, Oregon. I've got clients all over the country. And, you know, I guess I was doing this more for them so that I could explain to them all at once instead of explaining it one at a time. So that was my plan behind this course, but I've got so much feedback that I can't just stop here. I can't stop here. I literally, I was thinking about 3 other videos. I was like, maybe I can hop on at 1, maybe I can hop on at 3, and, you know, but like the reality of it is, like, I've got to not overwhelm you guys. So the course is going to kick off in July. I'm going to cap it at 20 people. You're going to get 3 biofeedback sessions and 6 weeks of courses, of course content. And, I want to be here for you guys. So if you have any questions, if you want to hop into the group, Alexis, it's over. I'm so sorry. If you want to hop into the group is going to be called Hope for Healing. Type add me in your comments. I'll keep it open for right now so that you guys can see it. And if you decide that you want to go ahead and sign up for it, just let me know. We'll do a free 30-minute consultation just so I can make sure that it's the right course for you and you can ask me any questions and also kind of fill me in on your personal experience. And then I'll send you an invoice. You can pay it in 2 payments or you can pay it in 1 payment. It's totally up to you. First 5 people are going to get early bird content and a free gift. So if you guys know that you want to do it and you're ready for it, just go ahead and message me and we'll get you set up. And I'm so excited. I don't want to stop here, but I have to. So please, if you haven't already, you can go over to my website. It's correctiveexerciseaz.com, and you can fill out the information for the pain and inflammation, and you'll sign up for my newsletters there as well. So I'll keep you in the loop with that. And then if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, you can find me at Kara Kates, the business page. And I'll post a link below so you guys can find me, and I'll share all my fun, exciting new stuff with you. And I also just want you guys to know that, if this isn't something that you're ready to start with, and if you're like, I don't have the money for that right now, or I'm not sure, you're more than welcome to go to that link, buy the book, start your own healing journey, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. It can get overwhelming. I know, I've been there, I've done it, and it's like, well, where do I start, and how do I do this, and how do I cut out all these things at once? That's what that support group is for. Hope for Healing is a support group for you guys so that you know where to start, what to do, and you don't get overwhelmed with it because it is so much information. So I'm here for you. I love you all. I'll be back tonight. We're going to pull the raffle out of my hat. We're going to call the name. If you haven't tagged people in this group already, we're at 198 members, which I'm so thankful for. If you haven't tagged 3 friends, tag 3 friends in the stress giveaway, which has the 2 oils and a free biofeedback session. So go do that and you'll be entered, and 5:30 Mountain Standard Time, 5:45, my son and I are going to pull a name out of the hat. So we'll see if you won. All right. I love you guys. I'm so excited for you, and I hope that you have enough information to start healing, and that you know that there's hope for the future, and that this isn't something that is incurable. So I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for participating. Bye, guys.